Blessings, you guys. Your girl coming back in with another one, and I'll try to make this as quick as I possibly can. I don't think I ever did a video on Do They Ever Change, but what made me think to do this one, and I'm gonna use an analogy. Maybe this will help somebody see clearer about, what narcissism is and how they are and the way they live their life and things like that. So, okay. First, it's crazy too because, I have a medical condition which causes me not to be able to eat a lot, and a lot of food my body it rejects. So I got to the point where I started eating less and less and less and less because I had to pick the lesser evil. Do I want my stomach growling and hurt, or do I want to eat and hurt, but also other things happen? I get sick, I probably have to go barf or something or whatever. It's just a whole different ballpark when it comes to that for me, okay? But we all know that we cannot survive without food. I know that. I pretty much just eat enough just to maintain a normal diet. It's just not a lot. So my weight goes, down sometimes. Okay. Do they ever change? Do they ever change? That's like, can I go, or can you go, or can anybody go forever without eating? Can anybody go forever? Anything go for, like animals, insects, doesn't matter. Go forever not eating? And we already know the answer is no. Okay? We already know that the answer is no. So do narcs ever change? Alright? And the reason why I'm using food for this analogy is because people, supplies, abuse, that's what feeds the narc. Being evil, disrespectful, a liar, everything that Satan is, okay? And they pretty much been doing this most of their lives. And as they got older, they started doing more and more and more, or even got even better at it, or learn other ways to manipulate, as they get older. That's the difference between, let's say, a young kid being manipulative, and then as they're getting older, they learning more and more and more and more, but they wasn't as bad as a kid. Narcs cannot go without supply, because supply is their food. So what happens when they don't have any supply? Do they just fall off the end of the earth, or croak or whatever, just like with not eating? Maybe. But more than likely what will happen is, as they're getting older and they're losing more and more people in their lives, and they don't have any person to be their final supply, or anybody to be their supply, they can turn to animals, any other thing to get supply. That's fine, they can do that, but they prefer to be a human being. So as they're getting older and supply is getting thinner, they're getting weaker. They're getting weaker, just like when you're not eating. What happens? You get very, very weak. So they may not croak or anything, but what happens is they become a hollow shell, meaning that they're alive and they're breathing, but nothing's home. They're not there. They're just simply existing. Some of them get to the point, like, if let somebody bring them some food or anything, they probably wouldn't even get up to eat. They're just sitting there, marinating in their funk, or their, I'll be nice about their bathroom stuff, just sitting there marinating in there. Like, when you look in their eyes, there's nothing there. Some of them even go to the point where they're just mute. They don't even talk anymore, okay? And this is what happens because they don't change. Now, I know someone probably like, well, I know of a narc, and as they got older, they changed. Well, maybe they wasn't a narc. Maybe they just had traits or whatever. All of us got some traits of that. But unless you out there just full blown on purposely being evil, that does not make you a narc. Sometimes we gotta just worry about self. Doesn't make you selfish or anything like that. But no, they don't. No, they don't change. They just keep running people in and out of their life, in and out of their life, in and out of their life, to the point they get to where they'll try to lock down somebody. And they don't know if that person's going to stick with them till the end or not, or that person going to get fed up and tired of them too, because they nobody. Because ain't nobody trying to grow old with their ass and be changing little adult diapers and powder in their ass. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Or spoon feeding their ass. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Now, if they get right with God, that's a whole nother thing. But I ain't seen no narc go running to God. Like I said, if they did, they probably wasn't a narc. But supply is just like food. Everybody needs food to survive. Narcs need supply to survive. Narcs need to walk on the back of others and treat other people like crap to survive. And they've been practicing this evil, like I said, for most of their lives. They've been practicing this, and they're doing nothing but getting worse. Their brain just stopped working. And if they ever had a brain, because they damn sure don't got no heart. And they all three. They the Tin Man. They ain't got no heart. They the Scarecrow. They ain't got no brain. They the Cowardly Lion because they're cowards. Because if they wasn't cowards, why does everything that they do, the abuse, has to be so secretive? Why they won't let people see how they really are, who they really are? Why they pretend one way when y'all on the other side of the door, and then when you on the inside of the door, then they're another person? Since they so big and bad, these cowards ain't trying to do all that. They ain't trying to do all that. Like I say, sometimes they match and they run into another narc, and maybe a stronger narc, and they crash out. That is a destruction. Two narcs together is a destruction. And it'd be funny to watch because you trying to figure out which narc gonna win. But a narc always lose when they're messing with an empath or a child of God or a really good person, kind-hearted person. They lose all the time. And they're gonna continue to lose because that's what they do. But that's my video. I was just using that food as an analogy, because basically it's the same. We cannot survive without food. They cannot survive without supply. Do they ever change? I ain't seen none. I ain't seen one. Glad I ain't got to be the one to find out. And I know that's the reason why a lot of people stick through it, thinking like, oh, well, when they get older, they're going to be calmer. I even thought that at one time, but I wasn't finna stick around and find out enough is enough. Enough is enough. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're just sick and tired. And they deserve any and everything that happens to them. So yes, that's my video. That's my video. Being abusive and evil is their food. And it ain't even free. It comes with a cost. It sure do. It comes with a big cost. In so many ways where they pay. I won't be taking no chance of that. It ain't free. The things that they do to people ain't free. It's going to cost them something. And at the end of this lifetime, it's going to cost them big. Now, with that being said, God bless you guys. I ain't have a good day today. Them kids drove me crazy, but tomorrow's a better day. Be blessed.